What's up everybody? Today I wanted to talk about a certain subject which I'm sure you guys seen the title of the video, and it's crowd control. Now, I made a video a few weeks back on crowd control. I kind of want to say I made it when people were still not necessarily fully aware, at least generally, about how much crowd control there was in the game. And I'm not tooting my own horn here, because I definitely seen a few videos in regards to crowd control here and there at the time of when I was recording it. But I'm glad that now everybody's sort of aware that it's a bit of a problem. And now with a lot of people having perspective, I wanted to sort of tackle the topic again. But before I do any of that, if you guys haven't already, like and subscribe, share with your friends. As of the time of recording of this video, I think I am about at 440 subscribers, which I mean, like over the last 2 weeks is a huge growth. So thank you to everyone who subscribed and have been commenting and sharing and liking. It really means the world to me, and I just hope anyone else that's watching the video that hasn't subscribed to the channel, that they'll stick around for the ride, you know? So again, thank you all very much. I really mean that from the bottom of my heart, and without further ado, let's get on with the video. So as of the time of this recording, we are just about a week away from Season 5. And it's safe to say that a lot of people within the tank role are sort of fed up with the role itself because of the predicaments it has. In the current state of the game, it's a little bit hard to do solo tanking, so much people are forced to do the 2-2-2 comp, which means 2 tanks, 2 DPS, and 2 strategists, or the usual alternative that ends up sort of working best for when you do have a single tank when no one else wants to tank with you is the 1-2-3 comp. So that means 1 tank, 2 DPS, and 3 strategists. And I think we all know how miserable it is to play against 3 strategists and just how boring fights end up being. But not to get sidetracked, the discussion here will be strictly about crowd control. Now before I get onto my reasonings, let's go ahead and quickly define what is crowd control. So crowd control pretty much is an ability that negatively manipulates a character's movement in some way, shape, or form. Examples of these would be Mantis' stun, the slowdown around Sue's ult, Wanda's weird red orb ability, I don't know what it's called, Bucky's grappling hook, the Thing, Doctor Strange, and even Angela's ult would be a form of crowd control. Why? Because they manipulate the player's movement negatively in some way, shape, or form like I described earlier. Now to get a little bit more deeper and make this a little bit more digestible, we'll categorize 2 different types of crowd control, all still under the crowd control umbrella of course. We have soft crowd control and hard crowd control. Soft crowd control to me would be things like slowdown, so anything that reduces your movement speed but doesn't necessarily put you to a complete stop. And then on the other hand, you have hard crowd control, or hard CC for short. This form of CC is the kind to put the character at a complete stop. Like you will not be able to move yourself willingly, at least. That is what hard CC is. To give everybody some context of to how much CC there is in the game, there are a total of 58 hard CCs and a total of 25 soft CC in the game. That is a lot. That's a lot of CC in the game. Now, if you want to know the details of exactly who and what part of the roster has a lot of that crowd control, and a lot more of those specifics, I'll link a data chart below that was made by Shibi MR, who also made a video about this about a few weeks ago. In fact, his video was kind of my inspiration to come back to the topic and give like a more nuanced tank than what I initially did a few months back with the other video. He's almost at 1,000 subs, so if you guys can sort of, push him right there, it would be really great. But moving on, yeah, there's a lot of CC in the game. And here's the thing, CC affects everybody in the game, right? No specific role only. However, I think you would be lying to yourself if you said tanks weren't the ones that were affected by it the most. And this isn't just because tanks are usually the bigger targets, but everybody knows it's probably better to CC the tank than any other role in the game. Because pretty much when it comes to team match and spacing and like how a team progresses forward, the tanks are sort of at the forefront of that. So as of now in the State of Mar Rivals Season 4.5, a lot of the tank experience, it doesn't even matter if you're solo tanking or double tanking, you're getting ping-ponged around. I wish I had the clip and I wish I saved it because I would have included it in this video, but it was a match on Asgard where I picked Doctor Strange, and I am not joking you guys, the first 15 seconds of the match coming out of attack point, I legit was stun locked for like the next 10 seconds. The enemy team had Angela, they were running a triple support with Mantis, they had Sue Storm, as well as Bucky and Emma Frost. And boy, did I love getting knocked left and right. It was so fun to get stun locked by Bucky, grabbed by Bucky, pinned by Angela, choked out by Emma Frost, and then stunned by Mantis from far away. It was great. I loved it, guys. Alright, that's it for the video, guys. Thank you. Leave a like, subscribe. I'm joking. I know jokes are supposed to be funny, but bear with me here. In all seriousness though, that was a miserable experience. I never want to experience that ever again in my life. But here's the part that sucks. It's gonna happen. It happens almost every time I jump into the game, as a tank specifically. And it sucks that nobody wants to tank with me. But here's the thing, I get the other person not wanting to tank. I get why they don't want to go through that, because it's not fun. So that begs the question, why is there so much CC in Marvel Rivals? And I'll tell you guys the answer. I have no idea. I have no idea why NetEase thought this was a good idea. 50 something forms of hard CC and 20 something forms of soft CC. That just blows my mind. And here's the worst part. DPS has a lot of that CC for some bizarre reason. Why do they have it? I have no idea. I'm not gonna say that DPS don't need CC, but what I will say is I don't think DPS should be the role with the most CC in the game. That's all I'm gonna say. That's all I'm gonna say. There's no reason Bucky has to have 5 forms of CC in his kit. I honestly think the roles that should have a prioritization in terms of crowd control are tanks and strategists. However, with some of the CC that is currently in the game, I'm not necessarily against things like slow and stun, obviously, because those are just general forms of CC. I am more so concerned of how much of it there is. In fact, I think Invisible Woman is one of the better supports in the game, like extremely powerful, simply because of how much CC she has. Her weird blue orb ability gives you slowdown. If you walk past her shield, it gives you a slowdown. If you walk outside of her ult, it's a slowdown. If you walk inside of her ult, it's a slowdown. Granted, why would you walk in, but you know, I guess to kill her. And that is not even counting her push and pull. Sue is a case where I think she has way too much CC for a strategist. A little bit too much. A lot of bit too much, let's be honest here. But I feel like Sue Storm is a good blueprint for a lot of things in the game. But for the case of this video, I'm talking about crowd control. And she fits that build pretty well. Granted, like I said, overtuned, but she fits that mold. Like I feel like characters, especially in the DPS category, just get some sort of CC that feels so random. Like why does Wanda get it? Why does Mr. Fantastic get it? Why does Bucky get it? Blade gets it. Punisher gets it with a Daredevil team up. There's a lot of characters that get it in that category. And I know a lot of people will say, well, they need it. No, I don't think they do. In fact, I think them needing that much CC is a testament to just the flawed design that NetEase has for these heroes and the balance that they have currently in the game. They just messed up, and I feel like forms of CC are sort of like a band-aid. They just slap a band-aid on like a wound or something and they call it a day. And it's like that doesn't solve anything. In fact, that adds more problems. NetEase, they really need to cut back on the CC in the game. Like legit go back to the drawing board and figure out what types of CC and who should be getting it in the game before actually just implementing it by just, you know, giving it to everybody at this point. I swear to God, guys, I swear to God, Wolverine is gonna get some form of CC. Wait, Wolverine already has a form of CC. Oh my goodness. I'm ending the video, all right? Make sure to leave a like and subscribe. Again, I appreciate the support you guys have been giving. I'll have more videos coming out this week, as well as a very special video, maybe next week or the week after. I don't know, it's gonna take some time to edit. Yeah, again, but thank you. Make sure you guys like and subscribe, and please stay tuned for the channel for more Marvel Rivals content. Peace.